us, that is. This is part of our Duggystone Radio Introducing, where we're going to be talking to lots of emerging up-and-coming bands that we know that you're going to love, you should have on your playlist, you should be following. And today I'm going to let him introduce himself in our series. There you go. It's all, the floor's all yours. Introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Matt from Apollo Junction. I'm the guitarist from a Leeds band, Leeds 5-piece, kind of indie, electro-y, rock and roll-y, big anthem sort of sounding band.
Yeah, and we've been watching you, and obviously we've got the street team looking at your stuff, and yeah, you're bloody good. You are bloody good, and we're going to be playing some tracks throughout the show. We normally rock for about an hour, so if anyone's got any questions, you're on the Mixcloud feed, please drop them in there, and we'll capture them as we can, and we'll ask Matt. If you're watching this at any other time, don't bother trying to comment anywhere because we're not here anymore. We've carried on. Do you know what I mean? But it's great to have people on board. And what we'll do, what I've started doing, is starting with a bit of a track just to get things warmed up. And I was looking at you. So you're in Leeds. So I'll tell you what, we'll ask you a quick question and then we'll go into an interview. So how long have you been together as a band?
Well, as friends, as long as I can remember. As a band, quite a while actually, quite established. We kind of really never took it. We always thought Apollo Junction would be a bit of fun, and it turned out to be a bit more serious than that. And
great.
And so I think we've been together about 6-7 years, I think. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else I'd rather do with my friends. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's you hear these bands have popped up after a year, but they've normally known each other and changed band name and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
You see,
no,
I can't think of a better band name.
I'm laughing. Yeah, Apollo Junction, brilliant. I'm laughing because overnight success. When we become overnight successes after about 10 years, we'll be all right, won't we? Well, we've been doing what we're doing for 4 years, and I think we was having a chat before. We said you can't do everything, and I'm trying to come back to the stuff that I love because I'm sat here going, why am I doing that, and that? Why just do the stuff that I like doing, which is promoting artists, finding new music, getting to know them, and sharing it with everyone. I love doing that. I might as well do that than do something else that I don't enjoy.
And I think when people can watch us live, and I know this sounds, I bet a lot of bands say it, but I don't think it's true for them, is that when a lot of people come to see us live, they can kind of get this sense of family.
Yes.
About our gigs. And I think it's because, we are, as a collective group, family. I've known Ben, the bassist, longer than I've not known him.
Wow. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
He's one of my oldest friends. I've known him longer than I've not known him. Probably close to saying the same with the singer Jamie.
Yeah.
So, we've been friends so long that we just do it we're like 5 mates doing what we absolutely love doing, and people pick up on that. So why would you change that?
Correct.
Like, what are you got to ask
yourself. Why are you chasing? All joking apart, and that's why I'm saying it. I'm being open and honest. We've been doing this for 4 years, and just about we've put a lot of money and time and effort into it. Never took anything out. So it's like, well, I'm not even earning minimum wage doing this. I earn my money from somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? But hopefully, what'll happen is let's gravitate to what we really enjoy. And you're right. We've set the station up as a movement, not just to play music. We're a movement where we want people on board. We've got some regular followers who support others, do stuff in the background, and people can tell when you're authentic and you're honest and you're doing what you're doing because you love it. They do pick up on it. Now, you talked about being live, and I played the track on the show this morning, which was the 80s and 90s show. However, I put your track on because I wanted to obviously tease people for today. And it's the one that you did. It's a live one, live at the 45. Is that right?
Oh. Yeah. The record shop in York.
Yeah. And I want to play that because you talked about live. And what I liked about this video, and I found it, and I thought, this is great because you're not in a big stadium, you're not in a big gig, you're in a and I think this just shows.
Before you play it, can I tell you a little story?
I'd love you to tell us a story. That's what it's all about. It's all about stories. So, Crack on.
I'll be 30 seconds then.
No, it don't matter. We've got an hour, mate. We can talk about what we want. It don't matter. Just carry on.
Okay. Do you know a good recipe for an omelette? No. Okay.
I do, yeah.
Well, we'll come back to that. So, where we have this big electric U2E kind of huge sound to our music, and we've always said we can't play acoustic, and then eventually we were like getting these acoustic offers, and we were like, we're gonna have to learn how to play acoustic. And then Janice Long, God rest her soul, offered us to play acoustic on her show, and when she did, we were like, oh, we really have to learn some acoustic songs now. And so what you're watching there is pretty much one of the first times we ever did acoustic, because we just didn't think we could do it. And actually, that is our last ever gig before lockdown happened. So it's a really interesting gig, because it's the last time we played before lockdown, and it's probably one of the first times we ever properly did an acoustic set. So yeah. Enjoy it.
I do like it. It's honest. It's there, and you feel, even though I'm not there, when I watched it. Someone has said it's her son's favourite video of yours, so that's nice. And I'll read some of the comments in a minute.
Lovely.
Right. Okay, people. I'll get my lovely assistant to cue the VT. There you go. Let's have a bit of this.
Okay, so we are Apollo Junction. Thank you for hanging about to watch us. Has anyone seen us before? Yay, super. It's a little bit different, obviously. We're usually a lot louder than this. We usually have a lot more space than this. But it's an absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you for having us. We hope you enjoy. Let's begin.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Clapping him. Absolutely brilliant, man.
This is a brand new one.
Yeah.
We started filming.
And that's enough now. We've had enough now. Pack it in.
Yeah.
You're boring us now. We don't want any more. Mate, honestly, that's absolutely wonderful. And I do I've said it before about other bands. Some bands are great studio bands, but they're absolutely crap live. And you can't say that about you guys. That is beautiful, mate. If you thought before you couldn't sing acoustic, you guys can do acoustic all day long. No problem.
Do you know what? We had a gig at the weekend for the fans who had bought our second album All In, and we decided to play the full album, because not many bands do that. Do you know what I mean? So we said, right, well, what we'll do is we'll play the full album, and we did it acoustic in this little upstairs room. And I think it was one of my favourite gigs I've ever done. And like some of the songs, we were like, how are we going to do this acoustically? Like there's a song off the album called Rooftops, which was written on the back of a mistake. I've got a little recording studio set up in my spare room, which I'm in now. And I made an error playing some guitar, but it made this really cool loop. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant. And so when we came to actually taking it into the big fancy pantsy studio, it required 2 guitar parts. So I had to play one half and then another half and combine them to make that sound again, to recreate it, because it was a mistake. Sums up my guitaring quite nicely, I think. But anyway, we did this gig, and we did this gig, and honestly, I think it's my favourite gig I've ever done. I just think it was just brilliant, and you could really feel it, and the crowd, our crowd, and it really was our crowd. It was, and you can really feel it, like just the atmosphere in the room. And the nice thing is that I'm now at the point, and I was saying this to Jamie, is I don't know whether I prefer our acoustic sound more to our electric sound sometimes, and I can't work out which one I love. And I said to Jamie, I said, it's because I don't play the acoustic one as often, and when I do, it just feels really special. The nuts and bolts of the song.
You've got nowhere to hide, and you've got nowhere to hide in that at all. And the thing I'm presuming, and I'm making an assumption now, is the reason why you probably enjoyed that gig, probably one of your best gigs. The people who are in the room, they're your family, aren't they? They're your followers, they're your supporters.
Yeah, do you know what?
Do you know what I'm saying
this.
Yeah,
we are one big family now. When it happened, I don't know, but now it is like people are walking up, and I'm like, I'm like going, "You're right, Andy. How you doing, mate? You're right, mate. You're right. You're right." Do you know what I mean?
Wonderful.
And it's like, "Hi, Paula. How's your son getting on with the rugby match? With his rugby."
Mate.
And and we're sat there chatting away, and I'm sat there thinking, these people are. And I don't mean this in a patronising. I mean this in a truly loving way. These are people I really care about. I care about their lives,
Yeah,
you know, like,
yeah,
and they mean the world to us as a five, and it's like this little family, and
I get that.
it's really special. Like, it is really special. Like, coming to one of our gigs is a special experience now because of it. So, but it's something that we're all very proud of. What we and our fans and our we've got an amazing fan page. And I mean, all of us have managed to create is something special.
I love that, mate. And I get it 100% because, you know, we've got a few people that interact with us, and, you know, even who are listeners have become really good friends. Ross is listening now. I was because I was doing some work up in the northeast, and I saw a sign for Redcar, and I thought, oh, Ross lives in Redcar. Pulled off the motorway because I was on the way to a meeting, rang him and went, where are you? I'm in work. I'm in Redcar, mate. Let's meet up. We've never met before. We spoke before and everything. We never met. End up going to his house for a coffee. That is just like, it's special, isn't it? That's wonderful.
It's perfect. It is perfect.
So Andy Barker said, he says, the band always used to say you've sort of talked about this. The band have always said they used to say they have no fans. Yeah? You just always say we've got no fans. This obviously has changed in a big way. Does Matt have a point in time he thinks that changed? When do you think that?
Yeah, I do. And to his credit, Ben, our bassist, was the one who said it. And he basically said, you know, and I don't think we ever meant this to happen, but we just didn't give enough love out, man. Do you know what I mean? We were too busy writing songs, and we didn't want. I think we thought, and we're not like this as people, and this is why it's working, because it's genuine. We're nice guys, yeah, all five of us, even Sam.
Yeah,
all five of us are nice, right? But there's something about the kind of like aloof band, cool kind of, they're a little bit mysterious, and it's not us. It's never been us. And I think Ben just said, this isn't us. You know, we've just got to be talking to our fans, engaging with our fans, because that's who we are. And that's why it's working, I think.
I like that.
And I went to go see James not that long ago, and I was thinking, yeah, their fans are like our fans. You know, James are a really good example of a great band that, you know, the fans feel like they're connected to the band. And I watched James live and at the MEN, and I was right at the back, and I felt like I was Tim's best mate, and that is because he cares about the music that he's playing, and he gives you a little bit of his soul. So he was talking about Sit Down, and he's saying, I used to sing this song and feel nothing, and then his father-in-law died during the lockdown, and one of the last things he did on a Zoom call with his father-in-law was sing it to him, because he asked him if he'd sing it. And he said, now this song's got a totally new meaning for me. And you know, when you sat there and you're going, you've just shared a piece of your soul with us, all of us, and now I feel like I felt close to him. It was weird. I don't know how to describe it. I know I'm probably sounding nuts when I'm saying this.
No, you're not. You're not.
But like, if you give a piece of your soul, you know, you get something back, don't you? You know what I mean? Like,
you do. So. I think we're, as humans, because I'm really good. I love watching people and understanding people. I'm not a psychologist, but people, as humans, we pick up on people that are false. We pick up on lies. We pick up on faking it and masks. And when you bring those down and become properly authentic, and open, then we can tell, and that's where people will gravitate towards you because of it. And that's I was going to ask you that question actually, and obviously you've answered the question that it's been really getting to me. And what you said there as well about how you changed your way. We interviewed a band last week, and the Pattern Pusher, and they said exactly the same. They were producing music that wasn't them. They said, hang on a minute, every time we go to a party, we put these upbeat, these tunes on, this uplifting stuff, and we're playing this. But we're this over here, yet we're doing this. Why are we doing this when we're this? Well, so I think you're sort of the same. Flipped it over and went, well, let's focus on the stuff that says us. And I think that's how they've progressed and and they're like you. They've got a loyal following that follow them around, and it's absolutely, when it works, it works. So we've got a new listener on she's been on last couple, I think it's a female anyway, been on last couple of days from Argentina, and Argentina's saying good morning to Apollo Junction. Hola! So I've shared the link to Apollo Junction on the Mixcloud feed, so please get it. If you're watching on anything else, it'll be in the blog or whatever, so go and find it. But go and check out Apollo Junction. I think what we'll do, we'll break up a bit. We'll have a play a track. I've got one lined up here now. I've got Light Up the Skies. This is one of your latest tracks, isn't it? Your latest. It's your latest one?
Yeah, it's the opening track off the album, All In. It's an absolutely belting tune. It's one of the more recent ones we've released. So very proud of it.
So before we go into it, what's the story behind this then, Light Up Your Sky?
So Jamie, Sam and Ben were playing this sort of thing that sounded a bit like a kind of Dawsey, kind of Spirit in the Sky kind of esque kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was saying to the lads, because we didn't have a sound guy to work with us. We always got these different sound guys at venues, and it's no one's fault, but they don't know your sound.
Yeah.
I said, what we need a song that's about a minute long. Oasis used to do it with Swamp Song and another one that's got a naughty word in it. But they used to do it, and it just gives the sound guy a little bit of time to get sorted.
Yeah.
And then suddenly Jamie went one foot in front of the other. We sang that line, and we were like, "Well, this is a song then." And then I was trying to work. There was this part that Sam wrote, which went diddle 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 diddle, and I had an email from somewhere, and it said "Outlet, we mean it." And I started going, "Outlet, we mean it," over this thing, and then we started writing, "We fight it, you feel it." Cold coffee, hot feelings. Cold coffee, hot feelings was an old T-shirt I used to have, which said "rotten food, cold coffee" on it. And yeah. So I was like, but the actual song on it is all about kind of like, this is your, so don't doubt yourself. And the theme follows through our stuff, and we don't mean it to be, but it's like, don't doubt yourself, believe in yourself. This is your moment. This is it. Light up the sky. Silence the night. Go out and live your life.
Excellent.
Don't wait for anyone.
I'm loving that. And without further ado, we're going to pull that on. Let's go for it. So we're talking to Matt from Apollo Junction. Got to check them out. Please follow him. Follow him on social media, especially on Twitter, and just tell him Dougie Stone Radio sent you. They'll love you for it. I'm telling you, they will. Hey, people, you go from acoustic to that. I do like the acoustic stuff, but I'll tell you what, I'm liking that.
We can do that acoustic.
I'm liking that, man. That is absolutely... Your stuff's infectious. I love it. And seriously, I don't blow smoke up people's... There's no point in that. I wouldn't have people on the show if I didn't like them. But your stuff is just fantastic. I love it. The energy...
So kind.
The energy... See, we set the station up in 2017 to promote and discover emerging presenters. It's a platform for people, because I always wanted to be on the radio from being a 10-year-old, and I thought, there must be other people out there. So that's why we did it. And what I'm finding over the last 12 months or so is discovering new sounds and new bands is getting the same feeling that I had when I was 14 or earlier, finding the bands that I love and I can still listen to now. Does that make sense? I'm listening to new music now and thinking...
It's lovely to hear.
Wow!
I think a lot of people are feeling like that. And it's a weird one, because at a time where guitar bands are kind of going underground, aren't they, really? And it's like, you have to go out and find them. But if you find them, people seem to love them. It's great.
Yeah,
it's great. Music just changes. It evolves. It goes through stages,
It does.
And that's fine. There's some great music that's in the charts. It's not my cup of tea, and that's all right. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not the music I particularly like to listen to, but it'll come around. Things come in circles, and like, the nice thing about the internet, love it or hate it, is All In was released, on, we're not a massive label, but a label we believe in and care about. But it's around forever now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, whereas in the olden days, when it was just a CD, if you didn't have the right promote, I mean, you could have the best CD in the world. It doesn't mean anything unless you had X, Y, and Z. Now it's like you put something out and then you just let it grow.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Yeah, it is, and it's twofold, isn't it? And because anybody can produce a track. I can't sing or I'll play music, but I could produce a track here and put it on Spotify tomorrow. Doesn't mean I should do. So it's twofold. But I think the trouble is, and it's really frustrating me at the moment. And I've watched a few people, and that's why I really want to push these shows that we're doing, because I look out and I see and I just go, you're just being lazy. You're playing Adele because you know, people are going, it's Adele, or it's Elton John's latest track. Great, they've all had their day. I'm not knocking them or anything like that. And then there's the other thing, I see people and I see them on Facebook and they go, oh, the music's crap now, and there's no decent music since 1970. Mate, dig the grave now and get in it. You're just talking out your backside. There's some absolutely tremendous sounds out there that you've never listened to it. You're looking in the wrong places, and you're listening to the same shows playing the same nonsense all the time. There's a time and a place for it, isn't there? There is, but I think it's laziness, and that's why we want people like you on, and we want to promote people like you and bring them to an audience, because
thank you.
You're good. You're good. We've got some. I knew you're on tour. We've got Ali 70. Anyone wanting to see the band live? They are playing at Leeds Status in April 23rd. Tickets.
Stylus.
I'm dyslexic and I read things sometimes wrong. Stylus.
That's all right.
Like what you have on a needle on a going back. My apologies. And it's live, so if we cock up, we cock up. What else have we got on here? There's a few.
Leeds Stylus. Please come down and watch us.
Yeah, come and watch
it mean a lot to us. It really would mean a lot to us.
Become part of the family. Janice has been on our street team. Thanks very much for organising this. Ever forgotten your lyrics at a gig?
Jamie, I mean, I'd never forget the lyrics, but what's so funny is that I remember all the lyrics, right? And Jamie will be singing, and he'll turn to me like, and you'll see me shout the lyrics at him, but Jamie forgets them all the time. But in a weird way, it's kind of cool because we were doing a song called Sometimes. No, seriously, we're doing a song called Sometimes, which is a great song. We're doing it acoustic, and he started singing something completely wrong. but he started writing a new song. I was like, brilliant, record that. And he was like, what? I was like, record that now. Brilliant. Because that's really good. We're going to make that into another song. That's album 3. Let's get going. Come on. Excellent. And so, hey, do you know what? Like, I've forgotten my guitar parts before. I've done a song called When We Grow Up, and I was just about to start playing the riff, and I just looked at my guitar, and I just thought, I have a clue what to do. I do not know what to do here. And I was like, I've forgotten everything. I remember walking over to the drummer, and Johnny, he's just hitting away, and just went, I've forgotten how to play guitar. And he just looked at me like, and he kind of went, make it up then, I guess. I was like, right, I will do.
Yeah, because your mind can go blank at the most bizarre times, can't it? And
it's like if you think about breathing, you start panicking, don't you?
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
And sometimes you've just got to be, and that's the nice thing about going on tour, is that like by the end of it all, you are riding a bike. It's like riding a bike, and that's good because it means you can put a bit more into the show because the stress isn't there. And so I can start running around on stage during songs because I know that I can get away with it because I know where my fingers need to be at all times. It's muscle memory.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously every now and again you go, I've forgotten it. I've forgotten everything.
I think that's a good point for a lot of people because they see people being successful or see some things and go, I can never do whatever it is. I do a lot of public speaking and what have you, and I know what you mean. You can forget things, but you've just got another way of getting through it, haven't you? And I think once you're
confident.
Exactly.
When we did the Isle of Wight festival, we walked out, and so you've got monitors on the front of your stage, and I'm not meaning to patronise anyone, but if you don't know what they do, they play a mix. So you might go, I want a bit of my guitar in there and a bit of Jamie's vocals. I don't want the drums because they're behind me. I don't need them. I'll have a bit of Stan's keys. And when we walked out, we started playing. My monitor was the bassist, Ben's. And on the other side of the stage, they got them mixed up. So I was stood there going, I can't hear myself. He was turning me up. And Ben's just there as I was absolutely booming out. And Oh, it's an absolute disaster. But the best bit of advice we've ever received is it doesn't matter what you do, if you just look confident and just look like you're having a good time, people don't notice. People don't notice these things because I go watch bands now, and I now and again hear a mistake, but not very often because I'm not looking for it. If you're on stage, you're looking for your mistakes. You're thinking, don't make a mistake, don't make a mistake. If you're going to see a band you love, you're not stood there going, oh, I wonder how many mistakes Oasis is going to make tonight.
Oh,
you stood there going, I hope they play Supersonic.
Yeah.
So you don't care if they make a bit of a blodge because your brain doesn't notice it because you like them. Because you like them, you want them to do well.
Yeah, and even if they do mistake, you just like whatever. They're live, aren't they? They're going to make something's going to go wrong. So yeah, we'll live with it. If it was on a studio album and there was a big error in there, you'd have a bit of a hang on a minute. Why have you left that in? If there's a wrong note in there, take it out, Liam. Anyway, probably smack you in the face, like. But that's another thing. Someone's asked, must be showing their age. What's your favourite Beatles songs? I mean, how old are you? Who is it? Widowmaker.
My favourite Beatles song is, I mean, they're my favourite band. I think my favourite Beatles song is a song called Day in the Life.
Oh, that is just beautiful, man. Beautiful.
That's probably the best song ever written, actually. I'd probably go so far as to say. But there's one song that I absolutely adore by the Beatles. I mean, I love so many, but there's that one that goes For No One.
Yeah.
You know, and that's got a great chord in it. But that's Paul McCartney's. I really like anything that George has done, such as like I Want to Tell You, off a Revolver.
Yeah.
And I like from the early stuff, I really like a song called What You're Doing. Do 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 do. That was amazing. I don't think the Beatles did many bad songs, and of the ones that are not as good, they're still brilliant. And it's just the rich tapestry of the band, and it's. I know it sounds a bit like cliche, this, but you kind of gotta like the sort of stuff that you don't like as much because it kind of paints a full picture. The Beatles aren't really. You can't really say, that song by the band. They're not a Spotify band. They're not a band you flick through. Every album's its own kind of individual kind of canvas, its own individual art piece that creates a full art piece at the end of it all, which is the Beatles. And I mean, for me, I don't think they've done a bad song. I mean, if you look at the White Album, you know, they've got While My Guitar Gently Weeps, which then goes into... Happiness is a Warm Gum, which then goes into Martha My Dear. And those three songs, there could be three of the best songs ever written. And it's just, do you know what? I'm going to rewind all the way back to the beginning. Don't ask silly questions. All Beatles songs are brilliant.
apart from, but it's not a Beatles song, Eddie King, who's our resident nutcase, says, what about the frog song? The frog chorus, isn't it?
It's not a Beatles song.
And that's what I just said. It's not a Beatles song. Grow up, Eddie. Get your facts right, man. But even so, that's got its time and its place, I suppose, hasn't it? You know what I mean? But you're right. The Beatles they're one of those bands, and I think a lot of people underestimate what they did at the time.
I think that's. Do you know what you said? Underestimated. I think they're one of the most underrated bands. As daft as it sounds, I think a lot of people like to kind of go, "Oh, they're so overrated because they were so famous." They were so bloody famous for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and the songs and the innovative ways of recording, down to what they were doing in the studio, down to the fact that Eleanor Rigby is just is just strings. There's none of the band are playing on it.
Fantastic.
Tomorrow Never Knows is based around I don't know what the right term is, so if I say this wrong, I'm really sorry, but I think they call them ragas, an Indian raga, where they just play one chord.
Yeah. And
it's just one chord throughout the whole song, and they build music around it. Like, I don't see any other band doing stuff like that, even now.
No.
And like, and to be doing it when they were doing it, and to be writing songs they were writing. And I was playing Here Comes the Sun to somebody recently, and they didn't know the Beatles, and they were like, "This is the most beautiful song," and I'm like, "Yeah." And it's just that one. There's just the way that they did stuff, the signatures. just everything about it.
I think we need
it's amazing.
And if you just joined us, this is the Beatles podcast with Matt and
Kirk.
Kirk.
I could talk about them all day. I could talk about them, but honestly, I could talk about them all day.
And I think that's why. I think that's. But you're right. You're right. Some of the songs you mentioned, they're just phenomenal. I think the first album I bought was the Beatles. Love songs, Norwegian Wood and all that. Absolutely fun. Anyway, wonderful. I love it. I'll see whatever else we've got on here, but was some other questions. I'll tell you what. Should we play another track? So we've had what have we had? We've had
Help. A Hard Day's Night. What should we play? No, I'm joking.
We're going to play Unknowns next, and you can either answer this now. Answer this. I went all Mancunian then, nah, kid. You can answer
I liked it. You sounded like my family.
You can answer this.
You can even answer this now.
Hey, this cinema's buzzing. Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, that's when he's making a noise. The joke's not there.
I've watched that Peter Kay sketch.
Peter Kay is a nutcase. Right. This is a question. You can either answer it straight away or after this. Which band would you put in Room 101? Which one would you get rid of? Which band do you think? They're overrated and they're crap. Get rid of them. You can answer it now or in a bit. It's up to you.
I'll answer it in a bit. Let's listen to some music.
See, I did say there's going to be a question in here, and you went, no, surprise.
No. But as in, I think people want to listen to a bit of music. I'll come up with a list of 3 that I would put in Room 101, not the band, because that's not fair on the other lads. Just me that I'd put in Room 101.
Oh yeah, just you, because we're talking to you.
Yeah,
We're not. It's all right. We're not going to send the lads around to shoot them or anything like that. I'll burn the studio.
I know,
down.
But I'll get in trouble. If I say something.
We'll have this. It's Unknown from Apollo Junction. This is Duggystone Radio. We're freaking global, baby. And a very abrupt finish there. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely wonderful, mate. I love it. Absolutely brilliant. Love that. A few people are liking that as well. So hang on a minute. Let me just stop this. There you go. Right. Should be back in the room now. You there? Have I got you, Matt? Is it me?
Yeah, I put myself on mute.
No, brilliant, mate. Brilliant. I thought I'd cocked it up then again, but not. Obviously not. Yeah. Upbeat. Upbeat tracks, aren't they? Right, where are we?
Yeah, every single one of them. Yeah.
So Eddie's put on great video.
Yeah, you want bands.
Tunes.
Thanks.
Tunes, yeah.
Tunes.
Yeah, tunes, love that. What else have we got? Yes, what a song. Love this song. I'm impressed with your knowledge. So this must be a reference to the Beatles. Yeah, we turned it into a Beatles podcast, that. But that's great if you're passionate about that and got a lot of knowledge. That's pretty cool as well. Thing to. Oh, we're back to our question now in Room 101. I nearly forgot then. Which bands are you putting in it then? Not that we could just put out there. This is not the bands putting the band in. This is just Matt's idea of Room 101 because it might be some of the other bands.
Okay. All right. So the first band I'd put in would be a band probably like Mumford & Sons, kind of like it's kind of like a bit like eating a beige. It's kind of like a beige magnolia kind of painted wall, plain yogurt kind of style band for me. Okay. And I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with what they're doing, and in a weird way, that's what I don't like about them. Because I'd rather dislike them and go, oh yeah, you're doing something wrong, and then just feel they just don't do anything for me. And at least if you're doing something, like challenging, people are going to draw opinions either way, but to me it's a bit bland. This one is going to get me a very, very unpopular, but I just don't get them. I never really understood them. Is Radiohead. Right. I just don't know. At no point do I ever listen to them and think, oh wow, I'm waiting to be impressed by them. I think OK Computer is a decent album, but it gets put in like the best album of all time, and I'm always there going, what? I mean, like I just maybe it's because the music. Yeah. It's my fault, and the music is a little bit beyond my simple brain. It's just lost on me.
Yeah.
And then I think the final band I'm going to put in, right, and this is going to make me so unpopular. I'm really sorry to do it. And this is a great band, right? And I like them. But because they are held in the same high regard as like bands like the Beatles, when actually all they are is a greatest hits band, is Queen. They are a great they are a greatest hits band, yeah? And I'm like in my head going, how can you even put them in the same category as the Beatles?
You can't.
And it's like if you took Freddie Mercury out of that band,
yeah,
and put Ian Brown in, right? The songs wouldn't be these amazing tracks, I don't think. And I think Freddie Mercury's amazing. He's probably one of the best singers ever. But I do think to myself, I like Queen. I like the hits. I was raised on the hits. But if they are in the greatest bands of all time with the Beatles, then there's something just fundamentally wrong about the list. Because, you know, I can name you a few albums, but if you said to anyone, what's the iconic album that's got all the hits on, you'd have to say the greatest hits. And that to me, is I just think they're a bit overrated, and it annoys me when I have debates with people and I'm about to say, oh, my favourite band are the Beatles, and they're like, oh, how can you like the Beatles when the Queen is so much better? And I'm like, what? Have you heard Radio Gaga? It's rubbish.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because you don't know the back thing. But with Eddie, who's with co-director and a presenter on the station, he's a Queen. I always say he's got 2 CDs in his car. Have you ever get his car? He's got 2 CDs. One is Queen's greatest hits, and the other one is Now That's What I Call Christmas, because that's all he's into is Christmas music. It's going to play Queen here. It just bores the crap out of me. We've been bombarded with it all the time, aren't we? Here we go, get some Queen down. I've just had enough of it. I can't stand it. Put me right.
Don't get me wrong. Queen are good. Yeah, I'm not saying they're not good. Right, I'm not saying they're not good. I just saying if I had to get pushed into it, I just think because of how massively overhyped I think they get compared to
that's where
certain other bands.
They're good, but that's where I'm at with them.
Yeah, they're very good. They're very, very good. But Queen is. Are they better than Meatloaf? I don't know. I'll put them in the same category. You know what I mean? It's all about the show and that kind of thing. Whereas I just think that, like, you know, the Beatles have better albums than Queen's greatest hits, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
I'm liking that. And I didn't expect to get 3, but now I've got 3. I'm loving it. And if I had to choose out of those 3, which are going into Room 101, it's definitely Queen.
Yeah, but that's... I know why.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. It's just a question. I was thinking about that today, and I thought, I'm going to ask that question because...
But I read a guy who plays in Leeds called John Gom. He's an amazing guitarist, just phenomenal. And he once said, if there's ever a piece of music that I listen to and I don't like it, I'm the one who's missing out. Because I'm missing out on an art form. And I take that. And I think he's right. So whatever your opinions are, you know, if you do or don't like something and you think, oh, Matt's just talking nonsense, like Queen are the best band ever, then I'm the one missing out. You know what I mean? I'm the one who's missing out on the on the amazingness of I want to ride my bicycle. You know, like I must be the one missing out.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not a Bowie fan. I can't start. I'm not really a big Bowie. Yeah, I can appreciate.
Right, goodbye. See you later.
Yeah, I can appreciate his genius, but I wouldn't be an artist. I played Fashion today because I think that's wonderful. But he's not something I would listen to. Do you know what I mean? And you're right. I think you're right. It's just resources for courses. I should have researched that he liked Bowie. But anyway, yeah, it's.
No, I mean, I love Bowie and I love T-Rex.
Yeah, T-Rex, banging, brilliant music. Because you've got quite an eclectic taste there, quite an older person's taste for your age, aren't you?
I don't really like a lot of modern music. I can't remember the last band that I put on and I really fell in love with it. I think The War on Drugs, I really like them. Song called Under the Pressure by A War of Drugs, and that does something to my soul. But there's not a lot of stuff that I listen to now. Jamie's big into it, the singer. He's really big into all these modern bands. There's not a lot of stuff I listen to nowadays, and it really sets me off and makes me excited.
But when you say that about modern bands, I think you're talking about popular music that's on the mainstream.
Oh yeah, the underground scene.
But yeah, good. And I just clear that up before people go, "What's he going on about?" He's a new and emerging band as well. So
yeah, no. Like, what I mean is. Yeah, of course. Like on stuff that hits the radio, Arcade Fire, those big headline bands. But yeah, man, yeah. Honestly, come down to the gigs. See some of the bands that support us. Go watch the Sheratons, who supported us on our last show. Go watch them.
Yeah.
Like there's proper music out there. I'm just saying that, like, of the big songs.
Yeah,
I can't remember the last time I heard a band that went, oh, wow.
And that's why I want to clear it out. No, we definitely need to try and get to see. I think that week that you're in Leeds, I think that's the week that we're doing Summerfest. No, it's not. It's not. We'll try and get tickets and come and see you. But what happens, I think we've just had an email in from Mumford and Son, and they said we was going to actually ask Apollo Junction to support us on our world tour. Imagine that. But you said
I know, that's why I didn't want to do it.
I know. Sorry, I might have to ask that question again. Anyway, should we take that on the podcast so you don't upset anybody? No. We'll just leave the Queen one in.
Just leave the Queen one. I'd love nothing more than somebody to say that about us. I'd find that hilarious. Somebody described my band as plain yogurt. I'd find that very funny.
You're not plain yogurt. You're like a 3-course meal. I love it. So, so of modern bands, who are you listening to? Is there anyone you listen to that's emerging? I'm putting you on the spot because we can't always think, can we?
No, completely. I mean, I love Slow Readers Club,
right?
Who are a band from Manchester. I'll recommend everyone go and listening to them. They had an album that I think it was called The Conclave, and it's just brilliant. And they're doing amazingly well, and they deserve it. And I've met them, and we've played with them, and they're nice guys. We had a band supporting us recently called the Sheratons.
Oh, they're following us. I think they're on our list. We've played them, but we'll carry on. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely lad. Well, not lads, sorry, lads and lass. But, lovely group, really nice. And they supported us. And, like certain people just get it when they're supporting you, and they just they just conducted themselves brilliantly. It was perfect, There's some really good. I mean, the Lathams are doing well. The Raytons are doing really well.
I love the Raytons. I think the Raytons. Slice of Lime. That's a great track. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. And then, gosh, there was one other one that. The Lottery Winners are obviously doing really well, and
they're on brilliant. They're good. We're going to try to get a chat with them. Yeah, brilliant. Some great.
Yeah, well, they're absolutely hilarious. No, there's loads. Yeah. Oh man. What we do is we've taken over a radio station called Away Day Radio a few times and got some bands that we like in the kind of scene and played them. There was a band from Blackpool. I can't remember the name now, but they were really, really good. Oh no, it completely escapes my mind. I'm really sorry.
No worries.
There's just loads of bands out there.
Cool.
And if you go through our Twitter, we try and champion a few and share a few, and there's sort of ones in our family that we really like. So yeah,
and I think we've seen that over the last couple of weeks, and that I think there's a real change. There feels like there's a change in the water where we're seeing bands like yourselves supporting other bands who are emerging, all coming together. So you've got the establishment here, and then you've got this movement over here that's not restricted by A&R. Someone's paying 20 grand to get all their tracks played. And
there's no big money behind us.
No, and you create your own movement, and I love it. I love it.
There's another band in Leeds called Skylights doing really well. Lovely guys, great band. And there used to be a day when we'd be rivals with each other.
Yeah.
And there really was a day when I'd be looking at Red Rum Club going, oh, look how well they're doing, and why aren't we doing that? And now I'm like, if they do well, we do well.
Yeah, brilliant.
It's us. It's kind of us against them. It's not us against each other. This isn't Oasis and Blur and all that stuff. We need the Raytons. We need Red Rum Club. We need to do well, so we can do well.
Yeah, you're right.
And if we build an indie rock scene together, great. That's all we need. All we need is enough people to give, and start going to gigs and start buying tickets and kind of not buying what we kind of like shoveled down our throats, and going, right, well, as great as Adele is, and she is great, she's an amazing singer, and the songs that she writes with the people that massively like a tea, but they're great for what they are.
Yeah.
But if you turn off that radio station and you go on your Spotify and you go look for a little indie band, that's you're making a big difference. And if you like it, and you think, oh, they're quite good, go and share it to 3-4 of your mates and say, this lot good. Jamie and I will always share new music to each other, the singer. Every now and again we do stuff like, oh, you need to check out this band, and it's like Blur, but just as a joke, but like see if we can catch each other. But yeah, we need to be sharing new music.
Correct.
And that way things will grow.
I think it will.
And by proxy.
So what I've decided to do today, on a Thursday we normally do an 80s and 90s mashup, and I'm getting a bit bored with it. So what we've decided to do, we have a new music show on a Tuesday. So I've decided that on the first week of March, on the Thursday, it's going to be an indie show. Not sure what we're going to call it yet. Well, it's a name for it. But the idea is we showcase bands like yourselves, the Ratings, all these people that you've been talking about. That's the place we're going to share them and hopefully get a bit of a vibe going from it. Some new music. You want new music? You want to get behind something that's more than just what you've been prescribed? Then come and have a look at this. You know what I mean? So it's going to be cool. 100%. It's going to be cool, mate. It's going to be cool. So that's our concepts. Anyway, we was chatting about today, and we went, right, let's do it. Because we're not restricted. We can do stuff when we want to do it. But yeah, it's time to part the 80s and 90s and bring something fresh. So you talked about your concerts before you went to James. What was the last concert you went to? Was it James or was it someone else? Can you remember?
It was Apollo Junction at the weekend.
Yeah, fantastic answer. Go and watch Apollo
really
Junction.
Good.
So you've got that
It's
one
really
date.
good, yeah.
You've got that one date. Where are you? Where are you after that? Have you got anything else planned?
It's always plans, but nothing confirmed.
Okay. Let us know when you do.
I will do. Yeah, thank you. No, the last gig I went to was James. I don't get to go to gigs very often anymore because I'm normally gigging or doing something. But I did before lockdown. I decided to go to a gig a month because I realised it was a part of my life that was missing. And I went January. I went to go see Fisherman's Friends, which were a vocal group that sing sea shanties. And then I had another ticket booked. I can't remember who I went to go see, but another one booked. Then another one booked, and I'd gone to see Embrace, and then I got to another one. And then lockdown happened, so I couldn't see anyone for a while. And then I think one of my first concerts since then, I went to see Paul Abbott and Paul Heaton and Jackie Abbott. I went to go see James. I think that's it. I haven't been to many, but I will get back on it. Jamie, our singers, he's really good with tickets. He's always buying tickets. But I've got tickets to go see Brian Wilson. And I've got tickets to go see War on Drugs, actually.
Right.
But yeah,
Cool.
War on Drugs are really cool. I really like them.
Excellent.
Good vibes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're all busy doing what you're doing. And like you say, once you get consumed with it, I'm struggling to get out of this place because we're always doing something, we're always looking for something or producing something. So, and if you're ever open opportunity, this if you thought that space that you was in the coffee shop was small, I've got a little space here in my studio. If you're ever down in the Midlands, come and do an acoustic set for us on Duggystone Radio. Anytime, just give us a shout.
Okay, all right, I'm up for it. I mean, even if just a couple of us came down and we can do stuff just guitars. You see,
yeah, you're welcome.
Nice. I mean, I just love playing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just love getting out there playing, and I'll do anything.
Yeah, cool. Well, if you're ever around, we had our first one a couple of months ago, which is a band from Scotland, some young guys, brilliant. There's 4 of them in here. We just about squoze them in. And
Is that the name of the band, or?
No, it was the one of the band that I promote all the time. Do you know how you say things go?
Some young guys. Some young guys
from Scotland. Eddie, what they call? Long Stay they're called. Absolutely fantastic they are.
Queen.
Queen. They're a Queen tribute band. I'll tell you what, we've been on some time now. So if you're listening on the station, we're just about to lose us now, but we're on Mixcloud, so we better wrap up shortly. I'm going to let you get on with your day, and we might end with a track. So where do people find you if they want to get hold of you? What message have you got for people out there?
Just put the what do they say? Send the bat signal up to the night sky, and we will come. No, seriously, the usual places. Always the usual places. We're probably best on Twitter or Instagram, but Facebook. We don't really do TikTok because I'm far too old to be doing 7-second videos of me dancing around. I'm not. It's a no from me.
You're missing a trip. You're missing a trip, man. You can do 3 minutes now, not just 7 seconds. That was
yeah. Well, if anyone wants to see me dance for 3 minutes,
you don't have to. Seriously, you should really look at it as a band and have some stuff on TikTok. I use TikTok all the time, but. Yeah, before we'll go, what I'm going to do, I've got another track that we'll let you go, and I'll carry on playing the track for everyone on Mixcloud, and they can enjoy the last track. But I asked the last band that we're on, and if you do me the same favour, I'd love it. If you can say this is Matt from I want a little jingle, see Matt from Apollo Junction, and you're listening to Duggystone Radio. So see what I did then, and we'll put it on the station.
Okay. Hi, it's Matt from Apollo Junction, and you're listening to the Goodstone Radio.
Duggystone Radio. You do it again.
Can we cut that?
Yeah,
I thought good.
I'll cut out Duggystone Radio.
Duggystone. I thought you said.
No, sorry. It's my Mancunian accent and fast talking.
Yeah, I should have got that because my family are from Manchester, so I should have got that. I thought it would seem strange. Hi, it's Matt from Apollo Junction, and you're listening to the Duggystone Radio.
Thank you. That's wonderful. That's
Cheers,
wonderful.
dude.
You're great, mate. I reckon we could do a 3 or 4 hour podcast, me and you, because you can talk as much as I can natter. Tell you can rattle on, can't you?
Are we still on?
We're still on, yeah, we're still on, but we'll.
So are you still giving me a grief while we're doing this, and there's a load of people watching you?
I'm not giving you. I'm not giving you.
I'm only one you.
I'm
telling me a natterer.
You are. You can talk as much as me, which is brilliant. It makes my job easy as someone interviewing someone when because I've interviewed some people and they sit there and they're like that, and you're like trying to get blood out of a stone. It's awful.
I just love doing it because it's just an excuse to talk to somebody. I'm normally just here on my own with my thoughts. No, I'm joking.
It is. Well, what I'm going to
it's great. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks so much for your time, man. Honestly, I appreciate it.
Keep in touch.
If you've got anything more you want to ask me, by the way, while I'm here, I've got another 5-10. So just if you do.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. A bit of a daft question though. When you're kicking back after a gig or you've been somewhere, what's your favourite takeaway? What do you go for? What's the band?
We either go for a curry as a band.
Yeah.
And if we're in Leeds, we go to the Bengal Brasserie because it's good. Or I like big sweaty doner kebabs, mate.
Ooh, yeah.
That's what I'm about. I'm about that life. But I'm trying to be kind of healthy at the only time. So I try not to eat too much rubbish because what you find when you're gigging is you're drinking, you're sitting around a lot, and then you're eating crap.
Yeah.
And that doesn't end well. And it makes you feel you also lack sleep and you lack energy. So in a weird way, when we were touring and we were doing, a gig every other day, and we were really touring hard, and we did about 30 gigs in about 40 days. It was mad.
Wow.
It was really mad.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And do you know what? I learned a valuable lesson because I didn't eat properly. It was all sandwiches and crisps. Didn't drink properly. Drinking beer and cider and everything that I could get my hands on. And I didn't sleep well. And I ended up pretty knacked and poorly by the end of it all, mentally and physically. Yeah. And I can understand when these people come out the back of these things and they're not very well. So actually, I think like now I've moved past that. So normally I try and like eat beforehand, eat something decent, go on stage, play my gig, and then spend a bit of time and have a few beers because I like having a beer with the fans, and then going home and not eating a load of crap.
I think that's a good lesson for people because you get into that, and I think that's how a lot of bands get into the drug scene as well because
100%.
They've got to keep going. So we've got another. Oh, feeling a bit crappy. Yeah, have a cheeky line. It'll spark you up a bit. Oh yeah, mum. And you're on this washing machine cycle of ups and downs, aren't you?
Honestly, I could totally understand. I don't personally take drugs. I don't care if other people want to do it. It's their lives. I'm not a judgmental person. I don't personally touch drugs. But if I can understand why people do, and I can understand that it's demanding and it's a hard slog. And if you're wanting to, when you go on stage, you want to feel your best, and and because you got to give that to your crowd, and so I can understand why these people do it.
And he wasn't a leading question. I'm just saying that's how and eating unhealthy and all the rest of it. It's just it's the same. I mean, you do want to give your best, and some days you don't want to do what you're doing, and the adrenaline that you're burning up on stage. I mean, I do a live show every morning, and it's nothing like doing what you guys are doing, a live gig. But even I come out of here after 2 hours, and I go and get a coffee, sit down, and my head's buzzing. I have to wait to chill out because I put a lot of effort into it, and it's draining on your body. And if you're doing that at night and night after night after night, that is a lot to take in. So, oh, hang on, we've got a compliment here. Ross has been on. He says this has been the best interview today. It's a backhanded compliment from him. Best interview today. Today, yeah. I thought he would say it's the best interview to date, and it says today.
Can you edit that, Ross? Have another go.
Yeah. Right, here we go. Ross has been on, and he says this is the best interview to date.
To date. Yeah, I knew it spelled it wrong.
Oh, brilliant! Absolutely brilliant. So, because I think you've answered that. I was going to ask you about chilling out, but and I've asked you about the music. All the questions that I sort of had loosely lying around, I think we've answered them all. Loads of them. Cool. It's great. Absolutely brilliant.
All right.
Well, wonderful. Thanks very much, Matt. What I'm going to do, let you get on with your day. Go and eat something healthy, whatever you
Go eat something healthy, yeah.
Quinoa or smashed avocado.
Oh no, I don't do anything. Oh no. I'm a northern bloke. I mean, my idea of healthy is still got, it's like meat and veg. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
As long as it's got gravy in it, I don't care. But like,
can't get it down here, gravy. Bloody nutcases. Don't even selling the chip shops, gravy, idiots.
It's weird, isn't it? Because I went into a chippy in London, half cut, and remember going up, going, "Oh, can I have a tin of D&B, please?" And they looked at me like, and I was like, a can of D&B. I thought it was because I said tin. It turned out they just didn't know what dandelion and burdock was.
I knew exactly what you meant, because that's the stuff that we grew up on, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? Dandelion and burdock. Well, I did anyway, and all that sort of stuff. But it's crazy, isn't it? It's these regional things. How to start an argument? Put a roll up and ask everybody what it is. Bam, cake.
Well, you see, because I come from Yorkshire, so in Yorkshire people call it a bread cake. Yeah, I think. Where my family come from, we call it a barm.
Barm, yeah, that's what I call it.
Yeah. And so I now say, but then some people in Yorkshire say tea cake because whatever. But I call it a barm now just to annoy people, just because I just like watching. What do you mean a barm? I'm just like, yeah, go on then. See, I'm gonna have a barm and some Vimto.
Oh yeah. See, I lived in Doncaster for 4 years as well, and lived and worked around there. So I know up, and I'm from Manchester, and I've lived all over the place, and it's the bizarrest thing in it. But yeah, something I miss from home.
I really just don't care. I just find it funny. I find it funny how people get so upset over bread. It's like,
or the name of something. It's like,
surely the most important thing is what you're putting inside your bread.
Well, normally,
that is more important than what you call it.
My favourite thing to put in a barm cake is a meat and potato pie. That's my favourite thing to put it into.
What is it? A Wigan kebab?
Wigan kebab. I went to a site once in the I forget where it was now, and it was about 9 o'clock in the morning. I've been on the road since 4. I was starving. I went in this little post office, and they had pies, and I was like, it's a bit early, but I'm having a pie. I was like, can I have one of those pies? Meat potato pie. Yeah. Have you got any barm cakes? A roll? Yeah, one of them. And she looked at me. She went, "You're going to put that pie on that, aren't you?" I went, "Dead right I am." I said, "I'm absolutely starving." Breakfast? She went, "If you're in Manchester?" I went, "Yeah, I am."
Do you know what? I tell you what, and I know that people watching this will just be like, this is just two northern blokes discussing food now. But I love, I went to Wigan and was introduced to the concept of pea wet.
Oh, now,
do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
That is a strange one. Just the essence of the pea. Just get a meat and potato pie in a barm with the essence of the pea dribbled over it. Beautiful.
Mate, it's great. And this for an interview, I mean, people might go, what are they talking about? But do you know what? Now, when was the last time, do we do all that boring crap, do we? When we do interviews, it's getting behind and getting to know the person. And I think we now know Matt a little bit more as a person, what he's into, what frustrates him, which band they would put room in 101. It's Queen. Didn't slag anybody else off. And, and he loves the Beatles. He's an absolute massive Beatle fan, and you should do something on the Beatles. That's wonderful. But it's been great, mate. I've loved it. I love doing these. It's I don't know. I can't explain to people what I get out of chatting to people like you. I find about what your passion is, what you're doing, and why you're doing it, and then playing your music afterwards. After I've chatted to you, takes it to a whole new dynamic, and I think it does for the listeners. You know, we've chatted to you today, and then if people go and find your music after this, and after they've watched it and listened to it, they'll probably hear it totally differently and connect with you more, I reckon.
What song are you playing last? I have interest.
What song we're playing last? It is well, what do you want me to play? I've got Porcelain lined up.
Oh, that's a really good one. So
they're all good ones. There's no crap ones here, you know. There's no frog songs in your lineup, is there?
There's no. I want to ride my bicycle.
No fat bottom girls. There's no fat bottom girls in your lineup.
I'm gonna get killed by honestly. When the lads hear this, why did you say Queen? Why did you say it?
Here we go. The Queen fans back in the room. His name's Eddie King. I think that's why I like Queen.
King, yeah.
Yeah. I bet he likes Rod Stewart. I like Rod.
Me?
Yeah.
I like the Faces.
Yeah, I like some of Rod
I don't like Rod Stewart's solo stuff particularly, but I like the Faces.
There you go. You see, we like all sorts of things.
But the Faces are really, really good, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I like A Nod's As Good As a Wink. That's a good album. And An Old Raincoat Won't Let You Down. I like some of the Rod Stewart stuff, but when he was tough, when he did the good stuff, and then he all got a bit wet, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
he's a cool dude, though, isn't he? He's a cool dude.
He is a cool dude. Still cool now. We've got someone on from France here. Brilliant interview, even though the English is not good. We're really sorry. The English is not good, but you know what I mean? We're trying. No, sorry, they mean them. They get to understand. Can't understand our English isn't good enough to understand us. But thank you very much for joining. We've had people from everywhere, haven't we? France. We've got Argentina on, and. Probably Yorkshire somewhere and Leeds.
Somewhere in Yorkshire, yeah. So
right.
Porcelain.
Yeah, go on, tell us about this. Tell us about this.
Give me a sec. So Porcelain. When I was first starting to play guitar, right, I wrote this riff, which goes something like. Oh, I can't play now. Like that, right?
Yeah.
And I had it for ages, and I never knew what to do with it. But Jamie used to write in an old band I played in with Jamie, the singer. I used to write all the songs, right? And it's not the same, but it's a bit like the story of Kurt Cobain with Dave Grohl in Nirvana. I always just looked at Jamie, and he still is an amazing songwriter. And I never, ever, ever thought I had anything that could ever compete with anything he'd write, so I never brought anything. And then I wrote, and I just knew there was something in it. And I always thought it'd sound a bit like Love Will Tear Us Apart by Joy Division. And then that riff came in, and I slowly started to build this song. And then eventually I sent Jamie the lyrics to Porcelain, and Jamie sang. So I played in the music. I was like, got this, and he sang back the verse to me, going, "Oh, so I think what you're doing is this." And he's like, "We were China, we were Porcelain," and I was like, "No, actually, what I was going for was we were China, we were Porcelain." And so the first verse is what Jamie thought the vocal should be,
right? And
the second verse is what I thought the vocal should be.
Excellent.
And then the rest of it is kind of like, I really wanted to write something that sounded a bit like sort of Joy Division-y, New Order-y, that kind of vibe. And I think we've done it. And I love it. And the more I listen to it, the more I love it. And it got voted on recently, and it was voted as one of our most popular songs by our fans. And I think it's great. I never fully appreciated how good a song it was, and it kind of started me writing songs. So it's a very old song on a very new album, and it took a long time to finish. And I'm talking 10, 12 14 maybe years.
Wow.
Maybe not that long. Maybe 10 or 12 years to finish. But in the words of Guinness, good things come to those who wait. Wonderful, and it just shows don't rush anything. It's not going out until it's right. So
yeah. You're a star, mate, and I'll tell you what, I feel like I've known you for ages, and I now know why what you said before about your fans connecting with you, because if you're all like that and you're like that on stage, then people are going to believe in you, people are going to follow you and listen to your music, and do you know what? To top it all, the icing on the cake, what you produce is absolutely bang on as well, so thanks very much.
Well, thanks very much, and can I just say thank you to everybody who's listened, and if anyone needs us, we always say this, our DMs are always open. If anyone wants to chat or just talk about music or talk about anything, if you're on your own and you're struggling with anything, get in touch, and we'll talk about how good the Beatles are and how naff Queen are. Or you can argue with me, that's fine too. But don't be on your own.
How nice
and God bless you all, and thank you so much for listening.
How nice is that? That's just a wonderful thing, man. Beautiful. Anyway, we'll let you get on with your day. Thanks very much. You've been watching Duggystone Radio and listening, and we've been talking to Matt from Apollo Junction, and this is Porcelain. That. See, you get a lot of time when you're talking to bands, and you run out of things to ask them, you run out of things to say to them, and it sort of dries up. But that, I think we could have done a 3-hour show. So we bust the station, and we lost them about an hour into it. But I really appreciate Matt's time and energy. And if you didn't like him before and you've only just found him from this, please go and follow him. I think they're wonderful. And how generous to give us his time and everything. If you remember from the start of the show, we had him doing a live acoustic in a cafe, right up, and the stories behind the band and what they're doing, and hopefully you've enjoyed that. Well, this is going to be a regular thing that we're doing. We've got other bands that we're going to be chatting to, and we want the place where if you want to find new music and indie bands, etc., then you need to come to us. And if you know any bands, or if you're a band and you're interested in connecting with us, then you need to message us on Twitter or speak to Janice, who's heading up our street team. I've been Kurt Pigstone. This is Duggystone Radio. Thanks for your eyes and ears. I'm now going to go and have a bit of a chill out. Been wonderful. Anyway, see you later.